Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue with the lesson number 8, that is public finance in India. We got to know about what is public finance, why it is important, what are the functions and roles of the government, okay, meaning and nature of public finance, definition of public finance, okay, difference between public finance and private finance. Structure of public finance is divided into five types. First one is public expenditure. Okay, in public expenditure we got to know the meaning of public expenditure, why do government spend, okay, and why this spending is the reasons for the growth of public expenditure. Then yesterday we were studying about public revenue, where we got to know that there were two types of public revenue, means for any spending income is important. So from where all does the government raise the income, raises the revenue, that we got to know. There were two types or two sources of public revenue. First one was tax revenue and another was the non-tax revenue. Okay, in tax revenue we saw the definition, and out of which we got to know the characteristics of taxes, that it is compulsory for each and everyone to contribute. Those who means it is legally bound to pay the taxes imposed upon, if at all the taxes are imposed upon them. Okay, as it is a major source of revenue for the government utilizes the taxes for the expenditure that will lead to growth and development of the country, like for transportation, for communication, health, sanitation. This all facilities government invest on. Then we got to know, if at all anyone are not paying or denying to pay taxes, the person will be punished or legal action will be taken by the government. Okay, so next we got to know that this tax, whatever the tax are there, it give means government doesn't promises that if at all you all are paying taxes to us, we will give you all this benefit. Government will give benefit, but government will give benefit in the common interest, okay, not to specifically one person. Okay, so taxes, there were different types of taxes like wealth tax, property tax, income tax, okay, goods and services tax in the form of CGST and GST. Then we got to know about the canon principle of taxation by Adam Smith. Okay, types of taxes we studied. There were two types of taxes, direct taxes and indirect taxes. Direct taxes are on income and property, whereas indirect taxes are in the form of taxes levied on goods and services. Direct taxes burden cannot be shifted, indirect taxes burden is shifted from one head to another head. Okay, so understood till here? I hope that you all understood. Then we got to know that there are direct taxes categorized into three different types. Okay, proportionate tax, progressive tax and regressive tax, out of which India is practicing the progressive tax. Okay, I hope the things were clear till here. And then we were discussing up on the non-tax revenue. Non-tax revenue fees. Yesterday we discussed that a tax is paid compulsory without any return service. Okay, whereas fees is paid in return for certain specific services rendered by the government. Now, for example, if at all these are the non-tax revenue, that means what? Government receives revenue from the people or citizen of India. Okay, and when people are paying to government, that means people are expecting that facility in return. For example, people are attending n number of competitive or government exams. People will pay fees for attempting that exam. Government will make things available for the people whoever has paid the fees. So we have administrative fees, we have competitive examination fees, police service fees. Okay, whenever you go to passport fees, okay, license fees. Okay, you all are taking out your license, that time you pay fees to the government. Okay, this all fees, and in return to you, you all get the authority to drive and all. Okay, so this were related to the fees. Second is that prices of public goods and services. Over here, government, we all of us know that government provides us services like transportation service, communication service, health service, electricity service. Okay, what all these are the services that government is providing to us individual, and in return when we are using those services, we are paying certain amount to the government. So that we are paying to the government, we are spending, but government is receiving income, it is government's revenue. Next we got to know about the special assessment. In this we got to know that in a particular area, suppose in my area, my corporator or my politician is taking keen interest in developing the road or electricity facility. Okay, whatever facilities government is developing in my area, that charge some extra amount of money for providing those particular facilities. Okay, so it is called as special tax. It is called as special tax. Fine and penalties. Now what is fine and penalties? Fine and penalties are those things, if at all this is not a source of income. Why government fine and penalties? So that front person is not breaking law and order and is following each and everything that is made by the government. This is a source of revenue, this is a source of income, but government's main intention is not to earn income. Government's main intention is safety and security of its citizen. So for example, if we are not following traffic rules, we are not wearing helmet, if you are driving car you are not wearing seat belt, so government charges fine. Why does the government charges fine over here? For our safety and security, not for their earning. It is their source of earning. Okay, so next thing, penalties. If at all government has given some deadline, like for example tax payment, if you all are not paying tax on time, then penalties or fines will be applicable for you all as well. So there are different fines and penalties which government uh, imposing on the citizen of India. It is a source of revenue, but a person should follow each and every rules and regulation. Now, gifts, grants, and donation. As we individual receive gifts, grants, donation from our near and dear ones, in the same way, government receives gives, grants, and donation. Okay, the government. We will start from here now. The government may also earn some income in the form of gifts by the citizen and other. The government may also receive grants from the foreign governments and institutions for general and specific purpose. Foreign aid has become an important source of development finance for a developing country like India. However, this source of revenue is uncertain in nature. This is very uncertain. It is not fixed. It is not fixed. It may be more, sometimes it may be less, sometimes it may be nil, depending upon the situation and depending upon the party, whether the citizens want to give gift, whether the foreign institutions wants to give gift, grants, okay, or they want to donate certain amount of money, then these are the remuneration. Now best example is about this COVID situation, wherein government has started has opened up this scheme where people can help needy by donating certain amount of money. In the initial news you might have heard this all things, right? Yes or no? So this, what is this? This is a revenue. Government can utilize those donation for the betterment of the people. Next thing is about the special levies. This is lived on those commodities, the consumption. Now we all of us know that we have intoxic products or commodities in the market. For example, liquors, cigarettes. Okay, what the, in if you have seen the cigarette packets, you might have read on that particular packet that it is injurious to health. Okay, then to people use those things. Why? For affecting their health or whatever it is their thing. So special levies means what? When tax are imposed on such commodities. Okay, and this is the revenue, non-tax revenue source. Okay, now next exam, and you, if you have seen, the taxes implied on such goods and services are quite more. Okay, because this is not a necessary good. Okay, and secondly, government is thinking over here that if more and more taxes will be imposed on certain of goods, government will not people will not consume, and people will not affect their own health. So this is lived on those commodities, the consumption of which is harmful to the health and well-being of the citizen, like fines and penalties. The object is not to earn income, but to discourage consumption of harmful commodities by the citizen. For example, duties levied on wine, opium, and other intoxicants. Opium is, it's kind of drug only. Okay, so same main intention is not to earn profit. Their main intention is people should stop consuming such kinds of commodities. Okay, next thing is about the borrowing. Now we all of us know, if government is not having money in its hand, then what will government do? Government will borrow money from front person, and again it is the non-tax source of revenue. Okay, so the government can borrow from the people in the form of deposits, in the form of deposits, bonds. This you all have studied in your OCBKSP subjects as well, which are related to economics. It also gets loans from foreign governments and organizations such as IMF, World Bank, etc. Loan are becoming more and more popular source of revenue for the government in the modern times, because there are lot many people, black money is there in the market, corruption is there, because of which government is not able to get the proper income. That is why government is mainly relying on the loans for its revenue. Okay, if the content is clear, write Y in the chat. This is there in your do you know part. This is there in your do you know part. So it tells us about the GST, that is goods and service tax. Okay, in short it is written as GST. The goods and service tax came into effect in India on July 1st 2017. This is a general knowledge question. Again, if you all are preparing for your competitive and other examination, such kind of questions might be asked for you all during your examination. Okay, it was proposed by the Kelkar Task Force on Implementation of Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management. That is also, its abbreviation is FRBM. Abbreviation: F stands for fiscal, R stands for responsibility, B stands for budget, and M stands for management. So FRBM Act in July 2004. This act came in July 2004. The 101 first amendment in the Constitution Act 2016 provided for the constitution of the Goods and Services Tax Council, that is GSTC. G stands for goods, S stands for services, T stands for tax, and C stands for council. GSTC. Okay, so this council was in the year 2016, comprising the Union Finance Minister, the Minister of State, that is Revenue Minister. Okay, this particular GSTC included members of Union Finance Minister. Okay, second, State Revenue Minister, and the finance minister of each state, empowering the council to make recommendation on GST rates, exemption threshold of the tax, etc. GST is different from the excise or the sales tax imposed on a single stage slave on the manufacture or sale of a product. It is comprehensive tax base with nationwide coverage of goods and services. GST would replace the following tax levied on collected by the central and the state, such as means once the GST came into existence. Before GST, the goods and services tax were imposed on other things. So before GST was imposed, different tax were before GST tax was levied on other things like central and state, such as central excise duty, service tax, additional duties of customs, state value added tax, entry tax, tax, etc. Okay, now what is CGST? CGST. C stands for central, G stands for goods, S stands for services, and T stands for tax. So it is central goods and service tax. Okay, it is tax levied on the interstate supplies of both goods and services by the central government, which will be governed by the CGST Act. So whenever the goods have been supplied from one state to another, that is within the state, okay, interstate, that time these things have been GST has been applied. State goods and service tax, okay, SGST, that is state goods and service tax. Tax is received by the state which the goods or services are consumed, and not by the state in which these goods are manufactured. Suppose goods have been manufactured in Gujarat. Okay, in Gujarat, this tax will not be imposed, and from Gujarat, if the goods is been transported to Mumbai, and in Mumbai people are consuming that good, so SGST tax will be imposed on goods that have been consumed in Mumbai, not at the manufactured place. Now next thing is about the IGST, that is integrated goods and service tax. It is a tax levied on the interstate supplies of goods and services, which will be governed by the IGST Act. Compensation part, it is for the loss of expected income on the part of the state government. Now what are the benefits of GST? First benefit is that it creates an unified common national market for India. Means now overall generally market is one and the same. Next thing is it boosts the foreign investment. Make in India campaign, make in India campaign means what? Those goods and services that are made in India. So it puts the foreign investment as well as investment of the Indian. Harmonization of law, procedure, and rate tax. Fourth thing, it boosts export and manufacturing activity. If GST is one and the same, if each and everyone are treated equally, then it promotes export. More and more good will be manufactured in India and will be exported to other country. Improvement in the overall investment climate in the country. That means more and more people will start investing in our own country. Simplifying the tax system in the country. Earlier we were having, what do you say, entertainment tax, entry tax, state duty tax. This all taxes were very difficult for the government as well as us to understand and calculate. So now only we have GST, that is CGST, SGST, IGST, and the tax system has been simplified, okay, a lot. Secondly, reducing final price of the goods. Earlier when the tax was being levied on goods and services, there were lot many taxes, and this all tax amount was so more that the final goods and services price was very high. But now as we are following GST tax system, the final goods and price of the goods have been reduced. Why it is reduced? Because whatever middle tax was there, that was been deducted. Boost to the industrial sector. Even the industrial sector is been growing. Fourth, next last point is about the poverty eradication by generating more employment and more financial resources. Okay, more and more people are getting job. Okay, as more and more people are working, the poverty ratio has been reduced in India, because the main reason is promotes foreign investment, it promotes industrial sector growth, sector growth. Okay, and every in all the parts have lot many improvements, because of which more and more people are involved in the employment, and poverty is been reduced. You can see in this particular picture, this is a sample bill. If you all have your bill at your home, there you all can see CGST percentage they have include, SGST percentage they have include. Okay, bill number, table, items, quantity, rate, amount. Okay, last you can see CGST and SGST on that bill, and you can calculate. Okay, next part is about the public debt. Now, debt incurred by the government in mobilizing saving of the people in the form of loans, which are not able to be repaid at the future there with interest. Second, means first important thing is like a private individual, even government also need to raise loans. Government also need to raise loans. Why one person will raise loan? If expenditure is more than the revenue. As an individual, when I will take loan, when I want to purchase goods and services, but the amount of that goods and services is more than my income, that time I will take loan, I will purchase the good. Okay, so in the same way, government, for raising debt is the most common activity of any government, because government expenditure generally exceeds, that is more than the government revenue. It is more than the government revenue. Now whichever year you all take, you all will, or financial budget statement, if you listen, if you all see, you can always notice this thing, that always the government expenditure is more than the government revenue. Okay, so to meet this, to fill this gap, government take the help of debt. Okay, so public debt policy of the government plays an important role in the public finance. There are mainly two types of public debt. First one is internal debt and second one is external debt. The name itself tells us that internal debt means what? Within the economy or within the country. External debt means what? Outside the country, or taking borrowing from the foreign countries. Internal debt, when a government borrows from the citizen, okay, banks, central bank, financial institution, business house within the country, is known as internal debt. Okay, external debt, when a government borrows from foreign government, foreign banks or institution in international organization like international monetary funds, world bank, etc., it is known as external debt. I hope that this is clear. Public debt, government expenditure is more than government revenue. To fill this gap, public debt is been utilized. Okay, so what will happen over here? There are two types of debt. Okay, in internal debt, government will borrow money from within the government, within the Indian territory, like from the bank, financial institution, okay, or citizens, securities, bond, different things are there that we are going to study in the next chapter. Okay, external means when government is borrowing from the foreign banks, foreign institution. And why do government utilize this income? To build up economic infrastructure. Okay, now this is the difference between internal debt and external debt. In difference between, they might ask you all in your examination as well, so you need to write the points very clearly. Internal debt and external debt. First, raised within the economy, raised outside the economy. Voluntary or compulsory in nature, it is voluntary in nature. Use of domestic currency, as within Indian territory we are going to take the goods and services, so we are in need of domestic currency, is Indian rupee. Use of foreign currency, from whomever we are going to take or borrow. Okay, so foreign currency is, we will get loan in the form of foreign currency. Less complex and management, because everything is going to take place within the economy. Government has complete control, how much he need to take, how much interest, all of the concern will be less complicated. But when it is concerned with the foreign, lot of documentation government need to follow, and it is more complex for the management. I hope the things are clear. Next thing is about the fiscal policy. Now again, I'm going to tell you all that we were studying, so that confusion is not there. We were studying the structure of financial, public finance, public expenditure we studied, public revenue we studied, in that taxes and non-taxes we studied, public debt we studied right now, in that we studied there are two types of public debt, internal and external debt. Now we are going to study fiscal policy and financial administration. Okay, these 2 points, first 2 points were quite lengthy. Okay, so I all, for any functioning a proper policy is required. Okay, so fiscal policy is concerned with the government's revenue, that is government's income, and incurring of government expenditure, that is government spending. So fiscal policy is concerned with government's revenue and government's expenditure. Okay, to generate revenue and to incur expenditure, the government frames a policy called budgetary policy or fiscal policy. So the fiscal policy is concerned with government expenditure and government revenue. In short, fiscal policy is the mean by which a government adjusts its spending level, okay, and tax rate to monitor and influence a nation's economy. It deals with public expenditure and public revenue and public debt. That means whatever we studied, expenditure, revenue, and debt. fiscal policy deals all with all of these three, because if expenditure is more than revenue, how less government need to borrow. Okay, why it is there? So what policy need to be implemented? Is there need to collect more and more tax? Whatever the concern of this is the solution by fiscal policy. Okay, in short, it is the financial policy implemented by the government. Next thing is about the financial administrator. Now we got to know that government wants to spend. Government, for spending, government needs income. If at all expenditure is more and income is less, government is in need of internal or external debt. Okay, to for the proper functioning of the financial things, government needs financial or fiscal policy. But who will do this? Financial administrator has the authority to completely take care of all of this. Okay, a smooth and efficient implementation of revenue, expenditure, and debt policy of the government is referred to as financial administrator. Now, for any smooth functioning of the economy, we have institution, we have administration. In the same way, government is having financial administrator, so that the things run in a smooth manner related to revenue, expenditure, and debt. Okay. This includes preparation and implementation of the government budget along with overall growth of the country. Now, what is their main concern? Their main concern is not only to earn, not only to do, but also for the growth and development of the economy, upliftment of the people, to provide. When the administrator is functioning in a good manner, employment will take place, poverty will be eradicated. Okay, the inequalities will be reduced between the rich and the poor. So these are the concern. Next thing is about the government budget. This is very short, simple, and sweet. Okay, given in your text. But when you go for the higher study or higher education, you need to study in details. Budget is an important instrument of financial administrator through which all financial affairs of the state are regulated. Budget is a financial statement. What is budget? It is a financial statement showing the expected receipt. Accepted receipt. Receipt, whenever I'll tell receipt, receipt means revenue. Receipt means income and proposed expenditure. Whatever means, it is a financial statement which tells us that what how much income will a government will receive in the upcoming financial year, or else whatever expenditure they have planned for the upcoming financial year. In India, a financial year, can you all tell me what is the financial year of India? Very good. 1st April to 31st of March. In Article 112 of the Constitution of India has a provision for annual financial statement. In every budget, a set of 7 budget documents describes the details of the government finance in India. The word budget is derived from the French word budget itself, which means a bag or wallet containing the financial proposal. Now, what is financial proposal? A financial proposal is a written report that provides detail of the future of a business by addressing its monetary need and budget. These proposals are in the form of government expenditure and revenue. Okay, I hope the things are clear till here. In short, budget and constitutional proportion, which article was it included? Which article it was included? Article number dash article of Indian Constitution, the union budget of a year is referred to as the annual financial statement. Which article is there? Article number? Yes, article number 112, 112. Okay. Now, this is the estimate revenue and estimate capital. Let us see in detail now. Revenue and capital. Central budget provisions are divided into revenue and capital. Revenue budget and capital budget. In difference between also they might ask you. It is consists of revenue received and revenue expenditure. Revenue means what? Revenue means income. Revenue received, yes, good Joy. Revenue received are divided into, just now we studied, income is received in the form of tax revenue and non-tax revenue. Okay, so revenue received is divided into tax and non-tax revenue. Revenue expenditure comprises of the interest paid on government borrowing, subsidies, grants given to the state. That is planned revenue expenditure or non-planned revenue expenditure. On what all things government need to spend? Okay, on the borrowing or whatever it is. That revenue expenditure means once the spending is done, government will receive certain in the form of interest, in the form of subsidies. Okay, tax revenue is there in the form of direct tax and indirect tax. Students, give me a minute. Huh? Yeah. So I hope that this part is clear. Now, revenue expenditure. Whatever revenue or whatever earning government requires, receives after spending money. For example, government has given someone loan. So government will receive that loan amount as well as interest amount. Okay. So next thing is about the capital capital budget. Capital budget consists of two things. Okay, that is capital receipt and capital expenditure. Capital receipts are government's loan raised by from the public and the Reserve Bank of India. Disinvestment of equity holding in the public enterprises. Okay, loan received from the foreign government and other foreign bodies, state deposit funds, special deposit funds. Okay, so capital payment. Capital payment refers to the capital expenditure. Now we are on this capital expenditure on various development projects, on various development projects, investment by the government, loans given to the state government, government companies, corporation and other parties. Besides, it includes expenditure on social and community development like defense, general services, sanitation, health and all. Okay, so this part is clear. Receipt, again I am telling, receipt, it indicates the money received by the government. This includes the money earned by the government, the money it receives in the form of borrowing or repayment of loan by states. Revenue budget consists of revenue expenditure and revenue receipt. Okay? Revenue receipt are receipts which do not have direct impact on the assets and liabilities of the government. It consists of the money earned by the government through taxes such as excise duty, okay, income tax and non-tax sources such as dividend, income, profit, receipt, etc. Okay. Now, government revenue expenditure is the expenditure by the government which does not impact its assets or liabilities. For example, this includes salaries, Okay, interest payment, pension, administrative expenses. Okay, again I'm recapping this part. Capital receipts indicates the receipt which leads to decrease in asset or increase in liabilities of the government. The money, first one we can take example of money earned by selling asset such as, okay, the money received in the form of government borrowing or payment of loan by the state. Capital expenditure is used to create asset or to reduce the liabilities. Okay, depending upon the investment, depending upon the borrowing and all. Okay, I hope the content is clear till here. The next part, that is types of budget and importance of budget, is there in the form of self study for you all. Short glimpse, in short I will tell you there are three types of budget: balance budget, surplus budget and deficit budget. Okay, depending upon the needs of the economy, the budgets have been planned. Government, first one is balanced budget. Government budget is said to be balanced when estimated revenue and expenditure of the government are equal. That means government receipt, whatever income of the government is there, same equal income government has spent on the spend. Suppose 500 is the income of the government and same 500 government has spent. This is called as balanced budget. Surplus budget. Next one is about the surplus budget. Government budget is the surplus budget when estimated government received are more than the estimated government expenditure. That means expenditure is more than the revenue. Spending is more as compared to revenue. Suppose 500 is the revenue and government has spent 800. This kind of situation is about the surplus budget. Again, I'll tell you this example. Surplus budget means what? When government is income is more. Government income is more. Government income is 800 and government has spent 500 that time. Deficit budget, when government budget is set to deficit when anticipated government receipts are less than the estimated government expenditure. That means the first example which I told you all, where the government income is less, 800 is the government income and government has spent 10,000. Okay, next thing is importance of budget. It plays a very important role. Any budget is important. We as a household people also we form a budget. In the same way, budget is very important for the government to frame policy, to what tax need to be there, okay, how the expenses need to be done, okay, in what all things government need to spend so that it creates the development and growth of the country. And public finance in a modern economy has undergone an immense change in the last 100 years.